With question 3, we asked why there was a need for Rashi to include the word Ba'arma in his quotation from Sefer Yehoshua, if Rashi's intent was to link the two subcategories, woodchopper and water carrier, of Sefer Devarim with that of Sefer Yehoshua. Vayasu Gam Hema makes that link. And herein we will demonstrate the precision that Rashi applies in his commentary to the text, in that from the standpoint of the Pshuto Shel Mikra, he will very often part company from the Midrashic sources, though he seems to be drawing upon them for information. But first, a slight digression into Sefer Yehoshua Perek 9. This is the Perek that discusses the incident with the Gibonim, and following the presentation of their case, we are told in Pasuk Yudalad that Vayikhu HaNashim Mitzeidam, a phrase that some Mefarshim link to the word tzayid, entrapment, not unlike the commentary to Esav, who tricked his father Yitzchak with tzayid befiv. And the text makes an interesting observation that appears to set the tone for the rest of the storyline. Ve'et pi Hashem lo sha'alu. They felt that this was something not worthy of bothering God as to how they should conduct themselves. Yehoshua proceeds to enter into a peace treaty with the Gibonim, sealed by a solemn oath by the Nesi'ei Ha'edah, I guess the tribal leaders. We are told that the Gibonim leave the Israeli camp to return back to their homelands, and as with any group of people, there are those who are forever suspicious of government. A group sets out from the Israeli camp, and lo and behold, they discover that the Gibonim have misrepresented themselves to the Bnei Israel. In reality, they were a member of the Chivite group of nation-states, and subject to eradication and annihilation as part of the conditions for entering Eretz Canaan. We are told in Pasuk 18 that V'lo hikum b'nei Yisrael, a decision was made by the leadership of the nation not to proceed with the eradication of the Gibonim. The reason given by the text is Ki nishbu'u lahem nesi'ei ha'edah b'Hashem Elokei Yisrael. There had been a solemn oath not to harm them. Understandably, the people were angry, as the text testifies, Vayilono kol ha'edah al hanesi'im. Their experience in earlier times with HaKadosh Baruch Hu was that the minutest violation of his command brought catastrophe. They certainly would have been worried about what was in store for them on account of this violation of God's command by the Nesi'im. A valid question that can be mounted against Rashi and the Medrash, who create a link between Sefer Yehoshua and Sefer Devarim regarding the woodchoppers and the water carriers, is that Pasuk 18 would suggest that no such event took place in the days of Moshe. For if it had, Yehoshua should have responded to the people that this was not the first time that a Canaanite nation-state had requested joining the nation of Bnei Israel, and just as Moshe had accepted the Canaanim as converts, Yehoshua also had the right to enter into a non-aggression treaty with the Gibeonites. Yet we do not find that Yehoshua offers this response. In fact, as the Medrash Tanchuma suggests, lo kiblan, but instead were designated as the water carriers and the woodchoppers. In other words, the response of Yehoshua, or rather the lack thereof, would suggest that a similar situation had not taken place in the days of Moshe, and that Rashi's thesis is possibly invalid. To ward off this question, Rashi adds one word, and with this one word, he allows the link between Sefer Yehoshua and Sefer Devarim to stand, but at the same time creates a distinction between the two situations. That one word is Ba'arma, with a degree of cunningness and dishonesty. In the days of Moshe, the Canaanim came lihitgayer. It was an honest, sincere attempt at conversion. Whereas in the days of Yehoshua, the attempt to join Bnei Israel involved arma. There was no intent to become part of, or for that matter even to make peace with, Bnei Israel, and it was for this reason that the treaty that Yehoshua made between himself and the Gibonim should have been null and void. What had stopped Bnei Yisrael from then waging war against the Gibonim was the fact that Ki nishba'u lahem nesi ha'eda b'Hashem Elokei Yisrael, a solemn promise that made between the Nesi'ei ha'eda and the Gibonim. This created angst amongst the people, and therefore Vayilono kol ha'eda al ha'nesi'im, with the addition of this one word ba'arma. Although on the surface not germane to the thesis of Rashi, nevertheless needed to be included by Rashi to ward off the challenge from Sefer Yehoshua, Pasuk 18.